If you're an entrepreneur, a founder, a business owner, or you lead teams, then you know that your number one responsibility isn't necessarily doing the work within your business, but being the one who leads the people that do the work on your company or inside of your company. So that being said, your number one most important skill, which you need to cultivate in order to successfully own and operate your business, is leadership skills. So in this video today, I want to break down my own personal leadership style, how I manage my teams, where I take inspiration from, and hopefully this can help you to better lead your team and get the most out of your people. So let me start this by prefacing, I'm 30 years old, but I've been managing teams, I've been leading people since I was about 14 years old. So I was a pretty serious athlete, I was a tennis player, I was always captain of my high school team, I played Division I tennis, I was captain of my college team back then too. I even did a lot of time coaching as well, coaching teams. So a lot of my leadership background comes from being in the world of sports, but that has really been transferable for me into leading businesses, leading my own employees, leading our sales guys, our copywriters, our media buyers, all that good stuff. I've found that there's a lot of different ways to lead a team. It really does come down to you and your personal archetype, your personality, but you got to find what works best for you. So I really take my inspiration surrounding leadership from three main methodologies. The first is Dan Martell. A lot of people know Dan Martell. He wrote the book, Buy Back Your Time. This has been super helpful for me in the sense of, as a business owner, you only have so much time in the day. You only have a set number of hours, and you have to make sure you're using your time effectively so that you can make the best decisions for your business. If you are a business owner running a multi-million-dollar company, spending all your time doing $20 an hour tasks, you are really damaging your company by doing so because you haven't learned how to delegate. So one thing Dan Martell really teaches is you want to view hiring employees, the people on your team, as time that's put back into your company's pocket. If you're able to offload $20 an hour tasks so you can focus your time on $1,000 an hour tasks, that is really, really big. You can't scale a company and do really big numbers if you are just wasting all your time doing stuff that doesn't move the needle. So that's my first key. You got to learn how to delegate, got to learn how to prioritize, and a lot of that comes down to hiring the right people that can free up your time so you can focus on managing the business at a high level instead of being super involved in the day-to-day. Okay, number two, probably the most influential person I've come across from a leadership standpoint is a guy named Patrick Lencioni. He's written a bunch of different books. Highly recommend just going on Amazon, looking up Patrick Lencioni, and literally just buy all his books and read all of them. They're all super short. They're like 120 pages each. You can read them in like 2 hours. Patrick Lencioni's whole thesis surrounding leadership is that your job as a leader within the company is to be the one that has the hard conversations. I run marketing teams, for example, but my job is not necessarily to be the one inside the ad account or to be the one writing the emails. My job more so is to have the hard conversations with the copywriter or the media buyer. If, let's say, the copywriter is putting out ads that are subpar, or the media buyer is not cutting campaigns early enough and it's costing us a lot of money. They're making mistakes. My job as a CMO is not necessarily to be the one writing the copy or managing the ad accounts. It's to be the one who is having difficult conversations with the people on your team, holding them accountable, holding them to a high level, because someone in the company has to do it. Employees generally do not manage themselves. Even the best employees, they have to be held to a certain standard. They have to be, guided to get the best out of them. So I think being open to having the hard conversations with your team, that's one thing that Patrick Lencioni really preaches. You've got to be willing to do that. It's uncomfortable. And this applies across a lot of different ways. No business owner enjoys firing people and letting people go. But when employees are underperforming, when they're not hitting their metrics, their KPIs, and they've got to be let go, they've had the harsh feedback, whatever it is, someone's got to do that, and you as a business owner it's probably going to be you, realistically, because no one else is going to do it. So in addition to Dan Martell, buying back your time, I also really subscribe to Patrick Lencioni's model of, your job as a leader is just having the difficult conversations with your team so that you can get the most out of them so that they can do the best for your business. Okay, number three. Now, this isn't a book. This isn't necessarily like a, famous individual or something, but my third one comes from a guy I used to work for whose name is Mitchell Miles. He was the CRO at a company called Closers.io that I used to work for a couple years back. And Mitchell's whole thesis surrounding leadership is what he calls transformational leadership. So let me explain what that means. Basically, transformational leadership is when you fit your company and your employee's job as a way to essentially take your employees from their current situation to their desired situation. You want to align your role, you want to align your company as the vehicle that is going to get an employee to become the best person they want to be, to reach their own personal goals. Think about it like this. A lot of times, one of my big mistakes I used to make a lot when I was pretty new to managing people was leading kind of from a place of fear almost. I would be really hard on people. I'd come down on people a lot. I'd yell at people when they weren't performing up to standards because, they're losing matches. They're not pushing the team forward. And a lot of times that can work with some people, especially, young guys. I think being really in your face with a 20-year-old guy, a lot of times that can work. But in more of a business setting, I found that doesn't necessarily work best. I like to put it on them. Let's say it's the end of the month and you want to meet certain revenue goals. You want your sales team to hit their goals, hit their projections. Instead of telling my salespeople hey, you guys need to work the weekends because we need to hit our goals. I've just found that isn't necessarily the most effective. I found it's much more effective to say hey, you want to make certain amounts of money. You want to hit, say, $20,000 in commission this month. Well, if you work this weekend while everyone else isn't, you're going to have all those leads to yourself. That gives you much more opportunities. That puts you a lot closer to hitting your revenue goals for this month. I understand that's a sacrifice. Maybe you can't go out this weekend. Maybe you can't spend time with your girlfriend, but you told me that you wanted to hit these types of numbers because you want to be the type of sales rep that makes $20,000 a month. Well, this is an opportunity for you to do so. That's kind of an example of transformational leadership, is positioning your company, the job that your employees have that benefits you and your company, positioning that as a vehicle to help them hit their own personal goals. I found that is very effective. So those are really my three main schools of thought when it comes to leadership after doing this for over 15 years. So leadership's a super important topic. It is very important to get good at this if you want to grow your business and compete at a high level. Hopefully this is helpful for you. By the way, if you struggle with leadership in your company, specifically with people on your sales team, on your marketing team, here at Offer Lunch, we do come in and do deals with businesses only with established operators who are over $1 million a year in revenue, where we'll come in and we'll take part ownership in your company and we will run sales and marketing for you on your behalf. Now, this isn't for everyone, but if you think you could be a good fit for that, if you think that maybe it would be helpful to have someone else come in and run those teams for you, then definitely hit the link below and apply with us now. We're looking to do a couple more acquisitions this year. We already completed one this past month. So this isn't for everyone, like I said, but if you think that's of interest to you, click that link below, fill out an application, and we can be in touch soon. So thanks for watching. Hit that link, subscribe now.